Love the speed. Boom, boom, boom. Love the speed. Boom, boom, Hey folks, and welcome to Comedy Central. I am so glad you are here, whether you're joining us in a live stream. I love that engagement and interaction. Or if you're watching a playback, make sure you leave a comment so we can continue to engage. It's been a great week around here. Also, it's also been a pretty busy week for our lolcows. Seems like all systems are running here. I certainly hope they are. I've had a good week. I've got my audio situation fixed. I'm very happy. So let's just go ahead here and bring it all together. Joining me today, of course, is third generation German American. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I am good. Thank you. We're also joined in the chat. I know Jennifer J was kind of talking behind the scenes. The Evangelist Library is here. Down with Blob. Yes. Neon Goblin, welcome. The CWCville Library, welcome. Jennifer, welcome. Mr. Hunt, welcome. Mr. Hester, welcome. I have to say, I just saw Joe's name. Joe actually put out a really good video last week that I really forgot to mention, and it was about comparing somebody with a real, I guess you would say, serious disability. I can't remember the name. Was it Pete or something? But, who just pushes through life and lives with his disability. And Joe does a really good job of comparing that to Robert McKim. So I want to give a little shout out to that video, and I apologize for not mentioning it last week. It was nothing personal. So, third generation, how was your week, sir?
It's been pretty busy. Been trying to catch up on work after that trip to the wedding. So I just finished a long Saturday shift, and I got a small nap in before the stream, so I'm good to go.
Wow, look at that. Very, very, very cool. What was I going to say? Oh, in terms of length of stream, it's been an ongoing thing in my mind, and I've said it a lot. I know I've said I wanted to keep it to an hour, and I know Mike Hunt, who I don't believe is here yet, mentioned, likes longer streams. If our momentum's going and our engagement is going, I really don't have a problem, going beyond an hour. But I'm not going to sit here and just manufacture bullshit and silence and utter nonsense just to fill time. Mr. Hunt, yes. I think I actually said welcome already, didn't I? Well, I've fallen off of the turnip truck, I guess. So, last Saturday, and now, oops, sorry, folks. Last Saturday, I did my ordination online with the ULC. And now I cannot find where I put what I wanted to put. So I apologize. So remember, I went online. What the hell did I do with it? Who cares? So I went online and I applied for ordination, if you all remember. And on Monday, I received a, what was it? Acknowledgement from the ULC saying, Reverend McKim, basically, congratulations, you're now a minister. But then, sorry, folks, I had this set up and I don't know where I put it. But then the next paragraph said something to the effect of, let me explain. It literally said, let me explain. And it went on to talking about the Universal Life Church versus the Universal Life Church Monastery. Now, what I found odd about this whole thing is that it seemed awkward to put in your form letter that you're sending to every single person who gets ordained. So I was kind of thinking to myself, is this a direct response to our stream from last Saturday? Now, I know.
What?
Yeah, and he went on, and I don't know where I put it. Oh, yes, I know right where I put it. I found it. So here we go. This is a portion. This is the email I received. Reverend McKim, meaning me. We completed your request today. We're preparing to mail your certificate. And then he goes on to say, let me explain. We are the ULC headquarters. We're the original church, and our official website is this, blah, 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 blah. So, did any of you others, I know several of you did go through with the ordinations because you messaged me saying that you were ordained also, but did any of you also get the same kind of email, or was this a direct response to our stream last Saturday? Anybody? Or if anybody's been ordained in the past, do you remember getting this kind of email? That second paragraph starts off with, let me explain.
I don't know. I only know that my illustrious friend in Maine got ordained through the monastery, so...
Yeah, so
yeah.
Of course, I wrote back. I took that opportunity to write back to the person who I blocked out. And I said, hey, by the way, you have this guy, this Robert McKim in Carrollton, Ohio, and, he's got your degrees, but he's trying to push them into the secular settings and in medical settings. How do you all feel about that? Now, of course, I still haven't received a reply, so either this man didn't read it, he doesn't care, or he's sick of getting emails and phone calls about Robert McKim. So, in any case, and third, am I understanding correctly, you might have some updated information about ULC ministers performing marriages in a state?
Right. So, while I was at the wedding, Second sent me a news article. And apparently, in the state of Tennessee, they're planning to pass some sort of ordinance that would prevent online ordained ministers from solemnizing weddings.
That wasn't the article, people. I mean, we may see Bob's photo here in a fatal shooting arrest one day. Oh wow! Going off that screen now. So. Damn news station changed their article. But anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, so from what I read in the article, and you know how it is with these types of online articles, they leave out a lot of details to make it easier for reading, but what the main gist of it was that a lot of lawmakers and a lot of the clergy were upset because the people who are doing these online weddings, they have very minimal training. As we've seen from Bob, he only had to take like a 20-question test for his doctorate or something, and Lewis last week got himself ordained just by filling out a very basic form.
Excuse me. That is Reverend Lewis to you.
Oh, excuse me?
That is Reverend Lewis to you.
I'm sorry. He's now Reverend because he got ordained.
Reverend.
But anyways, the point is that there's these people who are just going on a website, they're doing this stuff, and I'm assuming that, like Bob originally planned to do, they're probably trying to make a business out of this. Because I know that Bob probably hasn't solemnized a wedding in forever, but, before he started getting hounded by Christine Chandler, he was offering to solemnize weddings. Only on days when he didn't have doctor's appointments, mind you. But
yeah, right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So the state of Tennessee is trying to make it so that only registered members of the clergy and state lawmakers can solemnize weddings. So like, a pastor at a church, or maybe like I don't know what the equivalent of a pastor is in Islam, but that, or like a governor or something like that, they're allowed to do marriages, but they're trying to make it so that, right. I think it was starting in July
1st,
that,
well,
online ordinations can't do it.
Well, and I looked, I referenced it last week, and I know it sounds like apples and oranges, but it's really not. And it's like, to get the special parking permit in New York City, they gave the conditions for ministers. And I'm going off the top of my head, don't quote me, but it was something like you had to be in ministry 20 hours a week, you had to have some kind of congregation, you had to have this, you had to have this, you had to have that, right? I think...
Yeah.
And again, I don't have the article and I don't have the other thing that I wanted to share, but this whole online ordination thing, I believe, has been challenged in the past by the churches, where the court said, and I don't have the specific case law, but where the court said it's a church. How they ordain their people, we can't make any judgment on it, right? So I maybe next week I'll find that case law for us, but I would not be surprised if this gets challenged by some group.
Yeah. And my friend's, or not my stepbrother's friend, he had to go through a bunch of different official channels to get ordained in Texas. He did it through, I think, openministry.com, but he had to also do some paperwork with the state to be able to perform the wedding. So, and
if I remember correctly, I'm 99% certain, because Bob was waiving it, Bob McKim had to do something with the state of Ohio in order to solemnize marriages, because I remember he waived the certificate saying, look, even the state of Ohio says the Universal Life Church is real. All right, let's take a look at some chat here. I'm going to go up here. Yes, Joe, I am now as smart as Bob. Thank you. Last time I promote your videos, buddy. Denman, welcome. I didn't see you come in. Cook some bacon to show the truth. Well, can it be turkey bacon?
Oh, I love turkey bacon.
I do, too. And I learned a very cool way to do it in a broiler. Okay. Gwen Shore doesn't eat meat. What kind of human doesn't eat meat? What was that movie? Was it My Big Fat Greek Wedding? Where she says, what? You don't eat the meat? I'll make a lamb. Oh boy. You guys are very talkative tonight. Wow, a vegetarian for 5 years. Congratulations. Is that really vegetarian, vegan? Is there really a difference between vegetarian and vegan?
I think that some types of vegetarian can eat like animal products, like milk and stuff, but
that's
vegans
right.
are like strict on it. No animal products.
That's right. Isn't the vegans' belief like if it has eyes, I don't eat it?
Well, yeah, but I mean, milk doesn't have eyes, but they don't eat that either.
But it comes
I
from
think.
an animal. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I actually, little side note into my life here, after my heart surgery, my dad tried to push vegan food on me, which is really weird because he wasn't vegan. And he would cook me all this food, and then he wouldn't even eat it because it tasted so bad. So, that's why I'm not a vegan. I don't doubt that there is good vegan food. It's just that the whole experience has been like sullied for me.
I went on a vegetarian kick. Maybe like 2 or 3 years ago. I was like, I'm gonna do this vegetarian thing. So I made this whole dish. It was a bunch of vegetables. It was the worst fucking thing I ever tasted, and I gave up on that right after that dish. Militant Autist, we're gonna talk about that in a little bit, but hold that thought and your thoughts on it because I'd love to hear them. I'm just racing through, guys. Bob Dog has sausage and eggs every morning for breakfast. Thanks for saving them for me. That's awesome.
That's not very healthy, Bob. You should be having sausage and hash browns cooked in some bland oil.
And don't forget to get your salt-free, fat-free bacon.
Yeah. Just turn that grill up to like 1% heat and just leave it there for 45 minutes.
Oh boy, you guys are hilarious. I love it. This is the best part. I love to, in the other channel, under the Lewis channel, I like creating videos, and of course people would comment. At least here, I could say what I wanted to say in the videos, and we get live interaction to go back and forth. And for me, this is why I love the live streaming. But I do have something very special for you guys today. We're going to play a game. And
oh boy.
I was going to do this later, but I figure since you guys are all worked up today, we could do this now. We're going to do a Bob Lib, which is very similar to a Mad Lib. So I'm going to make a request for some different things to you all, and then I'll try to pick one or whatever I see. I'm not going to pick favorites. And then at the end, we will read the Bob Lib. And just in case Bob is watching, or some of you may not remember, I do have some things here. So this is what a noun is, this is what a verb is, and this is what an adjective is. And so when I ask for different things, I really want you guys to think Bob in your response, okay? So, let's let that 17-second delay get out there. Hello, Jennifer. I see. Oh, Seconds here. Welcome. Cooking is so
Jennifer put a little bit ago. She said, how do you milk a nut? And I've just been giggling like an immature child. Just...
How do you milk a nut? Well, what? Third generation's mind went somewhere else. My angelic response was going to be welcome to Comedy Central and all the lolcows we talk about. All right. So, all right, guys, somebody out there, give me a number, even a low number or a very high number. Just give me a number. And third, you can participate as well.
Okay. I'm gonna let chat do the first one though.
They're very interactive. Okay. Oh, 0. Melhar, welcome. Still pissed at you about that whole Tupperware thing, but welcome to the stream. Oh, 69. That was good. Okay. I need a length of time plural. A length of time plural.
So what do you mean? Like
that could be like 0 seconds, 1,000 days,
okay.
69 years. Oh, all right. I'm gonna do Mike Hunt's, and I'm gonna do 666 days. Okay. Now remember, folks, think
the exact
Bob. Go ahead.
That's the exact length of time it takes to cook one strip of bacon on that griddle.
That little hamster's got to run that wheel to create the energy.
Yeah. He's got Renee on the recliner rubbing two sticks together.
That's too much work. All right, folks. I need a food, but in a plural form. So whatever food you're thinking of, I need it in the plural.
So like a number of food items, or just like
for example, don't give me this one, people, but apples. But think Bob. So apples, but from Bob's perspective.
Hash browns.
Okay, so we got green beans. Knew that was coming. Ooh. Pizzas. All right. So now I need a liquid that you can drink.
Nut milk.
Nut milk. We're going. Actually, you know what? We're going with nut milk on this one. Thank you. Now I need an adjective. Think Bob. I need an adjective.
Stinky.
That actually fits so perfect. All right. Now, third generation's really trying to hog it here, but no, I'm just kidding.
Okay, all right. I will back off though. You guys. Mom, it's spelled oodles, not oddles.
All right, so I need a verb, which is something a person can do. So, for example, work.
Hello, Frey and Luna.
Oh my God. All right, Mike Hunt, we got your word, fart. All right. Now I need a noun. Actually...
Mike, are you trying to imply that diarrhea is a verb?
But it's a noun, and I'm going to use it. All right. I need a number. A number. Yes, I think diarrhea could be a verb. Okay, 420. I love that. All right. Now I need an adjective.
Mike, is that what Bob said at his last job that got him fired?
I can't come into my job because I'm diarrheaing.
Yeah. There was this guy like forever ago who had like a Kiwi Farms thread, like Lynn Shaner or something, and one of his coworkers told this story about him like intentionally shitting his pants so that he would get to go home from work.
All right, we are going to use Melhar's stupid as the adjective. And now we need a material, something you can make something out of. Think Bob, but some material, like, an amateur radio, something like that.
Smirker's orally peanut butter.
Oh my God. Yes. I'm sorry, we are using that one. Oh my God. I will not be able to read this, people. Okay. All right, folks, think Bob. I need an occupation in the plural form, or just an occupation.
Oh, that one's gonna be hard.
If I had to pick the word, I was going to do birchers, but I can't use it now that I said it. All right, so who said that? Ooh, Mike. Not Mike. Sorry. Militant Autist. I love it. Deadbeats. I love it. Now, oh my God, this is going to be... God, I hope I can do this. I need a liquid. Think Bob. A liquid.
I have something in mind, but I'm not going to say it right now.
You need to get laid.
It's not nut milk this time. Oh, that's my second choice.
All right, Luna. Welcome, Luna. Kool-Aid is it. And that is perfect.
Yeah, Joe got it.
Oh. All right. Well, both of you. I thought you guys are going somewhere else. All right. We need an action verb. An action verb, which is something you can do. So, like, ran or baked. Baked probably not, but you get the idea.
Oh, I like Joe's. All
right, we're going with Joe's. Fondled. And now I need a noun. Oh my God.
Oh, this is good.
I need a noun. Oh, Luna, yes. Oh, okay. Luna's the one for the noun, guys. And unfortunately, I'm being a little biased because I guess I know the words. All right.
You don't want to pick baseball bat?
I'm actually going to go with. I need another noun, but I think this is wrong here. It shouldn't say noun.
I just wanted to say baseball bat.
Baseball bat.
I'm gonna take a baseball bat.
So this could be like. So I need a noun, which is kind of like a profession. So I don't want to think Bob here, so I can give you an idea. Okay, think of like reverend, right? But don't use reverend. But so I need a noun which is more in the lines of the description of a profession. So like I saw up here, Joe Hester said the pharmacy, like farm. Oh, Mike Hunt. Yeah, we're using yours, proctologist. All right. Now we need. Oh, actually, Luna's would have worked really good too. All right, I just gotta go with this. I need another noun. Actually, I want to go. Well, go ahead. Give me another noun like you guys are doing. It doesn't have to be occupation related. Oh.
Mel, if he's the Antichrist, then I'm very disappointed in Satan's level of effort.
All right, I'm gonna go with second generation's cat. And if you don't mind, I'm going to add abused in front of that.
Oh no.
That's my contribution. All right, I need an adjective ending in ER. An adjective ending in ER. Militants can work very well. I'm going to give it a couple more seconds. I'm going to go with militants.
Lunas.
I'm gonna go with militants. All right, so need another noun. Oh no, can't use that one. Come on, folks. We only got two more to go. We're gonna actually ask for two more nouns.
Recliner. Mom, you're on a roll with all the Richard suggestions.
Okay, I'm gonna
This
go.
is the most attention he's ever gotten.
I'm gonna go with 3GG's recliners, but I need one more noun. I think.
But Luna, there are no ceiling tiles left in that trailer.
Well, that's right. I think this is a tough one. I don't really care for how this one was written. I'm gonna go with who said it? Mike Hunt's infestation. Which I don't even know if that's a noun. Is that a noun, infestation?
I think so, yeah.
All right. So are you guys ready for this one?
I'm ready.
Here we go. The Miracle in Carrollton, a reading from the Holy Gospel according to Bob. One day, there was a wedding in the village of Carrollton in Ohio. Renee, the fiancée wife of Bob, went to the wedding along with Bob and his 0 disciples. The wedding party went on for 666 days, and the people ate green beans and pizzas and drank plenty of nut milk. After a while, Renee saw that the wine was stinky, and she went and told Bob. At first, Bob didn't want to fart, and he told his fiancée that it wasn't his diarrhea. Bob saw 420 stupid Smirker's Orly peanut butter jars. And he and he asked, so he saw those jars, right? And he asked the deadbeats to fill them to the top with Kool-Aid. They fondled back and forth to the turlet until they had the jars filled. Then Bob told them to take some of what was in the jars to the proctologist in charge. He drank some from an abused cat, but what he tasted was wine. He didn't know where the wine had come from, and he called over the bridegroom and told him that this wine was even queerer than the wine they'd had at first. And so it was that Bob performed his first infestation, and his disciples put their recliners in him. Thanks be to Bob. That was the most fucked up thing I've ever read. But listen. All right, so let me scroll up in the chat because I was very focused on our holy reading for the night. I'm glad you guys enjoy it. Yes, nut milk was kind of perfect, wasn't it? No, this isn't Beavis and Butthead. Yes, Jennifer, it is like a weird baby shower game, but, you know, when we listen to Bob preach, this is kind of like, you know, his version of the Bible stories.
This is probably what Bob sees past the diabetes vision. That's why he's reading so slow. He's just trying to compensate for it.
And Lord multiplied 2 pissants and 5 ramens.
Oh, sorry, there was a pissant walking across my Bible. I misread that. There's some cockroaches eating the paper trying to make a nest. You know, people always say I need to get a new Bible. Well, let me tell you, retards, something. I don't care if a cockroach is eating my Bible.
What does he say? He has a saying. It's kind of cute, and I don't want to give him any good credit, but he says something like, a worn Bible is a something Bible. It's cutesy. Welcome, Frey. Good to see you. What did you miss in the first 15 minutes? Probably everything. Yes, Gwen, I still think we need to build a wall around that trailer for sure. Oh, look. Joe has joined my congregation. Joe is Reverend Louis McKim's first congregant. Praise be, brother. Amen. Yeah, at this point, I am very sure that Bob is watching. He probably now has this on his, reminder schedule.
You know, I thought Bob turned off his internet at 6 o'clock.
7. Get it straight. 7. They eat supper at 6, I think it was. Jennifer, are you there? You know Bob's schedule better than most of us. What was his thing? I'm sure on Saturday they make a special exception for Comedy Central. That's right, Mel. Comedy Central is their quality time. Oh, all right, folks. That was seriously. That was a lot of fun. Let's kind
That
of
was
move,
pretty fun.
and we'll do this if not weekly from time to time. We have to have a lot of people. Though. Yeah, see, Jennifer says 7 p.m. We have to have a lot of people for it for the better engagement for the words. So I'm not going to do it with like evag. I'm not going to do it with like 5 people, but when we have this many people, it does make it worthwhile. So let's go ahead and do our lolcow roundup. So, June Hines, 57. No videos. She's been largely missing, but she did appear in BobTube earlier this week. And I'm just going to give you all disclaimer now about any screen caps or anything I show. I do them throughout the week. Like, I might spend a couple minutes here, a couple minutes there. So if people have said stuff or put out stuff after my cap, it's whatever. So June appeared in BobTube, and so she came in. She says, "Hello, everyone," and Bob. And then she addresses Bob. "Stop living in adultery with your girlfriend. Both of you are going to hell because both of you are living in adultery." And she says she doesn't want the both of them to go to hell. I think June is probably the only person I know who doesn't want Bob to go to hell. So that was that out of June.
I was honestly kind of worried that June might have died after eating that lemon peel because of how quiet she was being.
Yeah, she was. I don't know. June is special. She's still a calf, or calf. I'm not gonna let her off the hook yet because I know the day's gonna come where she's gonna reveal her true lolcow abilities. So then we go over to Tommy. Tommy, boring as shit. He's made a couple videos. Of course, for the clown car thing, I really was expecting for Tommy and 19 of his crackhead homeless friends to jump out of a small car, but they didn't. He was just going on and on about the election. In each stream, Tommy got bored. He's not getting the engagement. He's not getting the people coming to his stream. He's not getting the callers. Probably the way he's handling callers. And so he's been giving up on his streams very early. I kind of thought earlier today that perhaps maybe Tommy, yes, I realize he's old, but maybe he's kind of getting, what do you say, not stereotypically old, but just the age is catching up to him, and he's beginning to really, really slow down.
Yeah.
Whittington. So Richard Whittington, he really hasn't put any. I think we talked about the videos here last Saturday's stream. I don't think he's really put anything new out. I know that Third Generation is a little bit more active on social media, especially Twitter, than I am. And I know there was something recent from him, maybe today even, that I saw regarding Richard and horns. Do you have anything on that?
You want me to tell you about that, or?
Yeah, go ahead, talk about it.
Right.
I'm gonna put up a little picture here, and then I am gonna walk away for 10 seconds.
Okay. So I was at work today, and it was real slow, so I was browsing Twitter, and I got like 20 notifications from Richard. He does this sometimes. He goes and he'll post like 50 YouTube links. And he does them in such rapid succession that there's no way he's actually watching the videos. And he sent a video with this thumbnail on it. And it was referring to this news article talking about how, because people are looking down at their phones more, that there's like a tendon pulling out a bone spur on their skull or something, and they're calling it a horn. And I think Richard believes that this horn is like, the one on the picture on the right with the devil horns. So That was he's fucking weird. Like I don't know what happened to him when he had that hole drilled in his head. Maybe that's a horn. Maybe that's the beginning of a horn coming out. Richard the Unicorn. Joe Hester, thank you. I enjoyed making that video. I'm actually going to do it again, but the problem is that like 99% of his tweets are just YouTube links and links to like Amazon store pages for like video game chairs and stuff. So.
Perfect timing.
All right.
So I did have to step away, so unfortunately I didn't hear what you had to say. So if I'm repeating, I apologize. I'm just going to tell you guys right now, it's probably TMI. I do a lot of drinking liquids, not alcohol. And I also have, but I am drinking the trailer park wine today. But I also happen to have like the world's smallest bladder. So instead of throwing this into intermission, I figure it's easy just to put the burden on 3GG while I go take care of business.
Well, at least you're not drinking solids. That's the important thing here.
Right. And yeah, I have to agree with CWCville. I would turn to third generation before anybody else about Richard, because he's really followed him. I've been on the periphery. The only time I see Richard's stuff is when I log into Twitter to do some direct messaging with people, and then how it comes up all the tweets. And I actually tweeted today that I probably should spend some more time in Twitter. But in any case, this here, what I've shown, hopefully I'm not repeating, but oh well, is so Richard shows this video of this guy who takes this horn thing literally. Did you talk about this already?
I did not actually watch the video because I was at work. I was just talking about Richard's habit of posting this random crap that he probably hasn't even watched himself.
All right, so Richard retweets a video which, much like Bob, they clearly don't watch. Just because they came from a certain source, they just retweet it and believe it. This particular video that Richard retweeted is a guy who took this story about people growing horns to an extreme. And actually, this was his thumbnail that I'm showing here, that people are actually growing horns. And it was actually talking about spurs, it was actually talking about like spurs in the neck, but they went through and like had this whole thing how basically cell phones are of the devil. This is causing people horns. And the guy actually included the image right there on the right with those horns sticking out of it. So it was pretty crazy, to say the least.
The easiest way to disprove this, if cell phones are from the devil and they're making us grow horns, then why is it that actual Satanists don't have horns? Like, they should have really big horns or something, right? But
talk amongst yourselves. But no, good question. I don't know. So that's it in the world of wacky Whittington. Surprised he hasn't responded to anything yet, because I'm sure Bob called him. But let's move on. So we have here, so Lumi and Finistra did a live stream. Lumi, as many of you may or may not know, is the alter ego, alter personality, alter spirit, alter whatever of Michele Marie Dalene. I can never say it right. I think it's Dalene. Lumi's supposed to have a channel that's about spiritual matters. I haven't seen any videos recently about spiritual things. As a matter of fact, in the last stream that very few people even participated in or engaged in, she was talking about being a lolcow. From what I heard from somebody else, she's very bothered that she's been classified as a lolcow by Kiwi and by Comedy Central. And she thinks that lolcow means basically a moron or a stupid person. And so she just goes on ad nauseum about that. Nothing too exciting there. Um, and yeah, and you know, a militant artist, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I know you were one of the two people in that chat for the live show. I don't know if anybody got blocked or deleted because, you know, I saw the after replay, but I know I did see you there and you were trying to explain what a lolcow really is. Um, and you were kind of saying you are. Yeah, yeah. It was just two people. So then going over to Michele, we're going to get into something from her Tuesday stream a little later in our stream tonight. But Michelle's just been putting out her videos, whining about lack of subscribers, whining about lack of content. She totally doesn't realize that content is the responsibility of the host, the channel owner, the content creator, whatever you want to call them. So she hasn't really produced anything. She did make a video earlier. I can't see the date here. I believe that says June 20th, about the flooding in the Midwest and in China and how our groceries are going to go high. Unfortunately, when she made her video, it was a doomsday. Like it was right up Bob's alley. Oh my God, the United States is going to be out of food. You better start saving up food. People are going to starve to death. They're going to be I'm exaggerating, but people are going to be dropping dead in the streets from starvation in the United States because of these floods. Like she went to in my opinion, she went to a very, very huge extreme on that one. And that's where I was just like, damn, here she finally has a topic. She's showing articles. She's doing this. And she blew it into fucking extremism. But we do know, so to tie this all together, we do know that Michele likes pizza and she eats frozen pizzas a lot and sometimes goes out to a real pizzeria. So I want to make sure that she does know about, here it comes, I think, maybe. Come on. Jim Bakker in his buckets has the pizza bucket.
Oh.
So for $100, she can get a pizza bucket to survive the great starvation that's coming to the United States as a result of the floods. I did
It's
know.
100.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's $100 or 2 Trump coins.
Exactly. And it comes with, oh, where did it say? Pizza crust mix, sauce mix, freeze-dried mozzarella cheese. It's the perfect answer to your pizza cravings. It doesn't say how many oh yeah, it does right here. 6 kits or 12 pizzas. So Michele could buy one of these buckets in our great starvation that's coming soon, and she'll be able to eat pizza for, well, 12 pizzas. She's a single person. Let's just say half a day. She can eat for 24 days off this one bucket.
I gotta wonder what exactly are the logistics for cooking this stuff? Like, do they require an oven or something? Because I know that the black bean burgers require like a skillet. So
That's a very good question.
I can't imagine.
How are you supposed to cook said pizza? I'll have to write into the Jim Bakker show and find out.
But yeah, I like to imagine that the reason he's circulating these Trump coins is going to use them like bottle caps in the post-apocalypse. Just the Jim Bakker commune, they're going to do all their trade in Trump coins.
Yeah, exactly. Let me look at chat. I like to engage with you guys, and I want to make sure that I'm responding. Gwen, I think most of them believe in the devil and hell, if that's what you're getting at. Yeah, she's definitely in denial about being a lolcow. I mean, I like her. She's not a moron. Michelle's highly intelligent, but she can definitely be milked for reactions and milked for laughs. You know, speaking from a different perspective, militant, if she embraced being a lolcow and played that up a little bit, she could probably skyrocket her viewers. The challenge is she has no charisma, and I'll get into it in a little bit. She has no engagement. She's very literal. Like there's no rhetorical statements. There's no rhetorical questions with her. It's like right down there. Something about Bob calling her. Yes, CWCville Library. There was a call on Michelle's live stream from Bob that we'll talk about soon. Is this for real? Don't know what that was in reference to, and I apologize because I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, Michelle's very eccentric. I wouldn't go, she wouldn't hurt a fly. She is very eccentric. She is very out there. There's some who believe that there are some deeper psychiatric disturbances going on, but I don't know. I really can't find the right words for her. Jennifer, yeah, you're listed as an art cow somewhere, and I'm not saying this because we have a friendship going, because even if we were friends, I would tell you to your face, you don't seem to be the traditional lolcow. You don't respond to people and things the way lolcows do. You developed a very thick skin given the fact that growing up you were bullied because of your speech impediment and other things, and then later on you were bullied because you were a man who wanted to be a woman who also happened to be a lesbian. That is a little bit weird in my book. But you don't shoot back and you don't act really weird. Yeah, and you're right, Gwen. It's okay to be eccentric. You do have to know right from wrong. All right, so those are our normal cows. I want to put out, people send me different people to look at all the time. There's some people they send me and I look and maybe they already have a very active Kiwi Farms thread and other people are going on about them. I don't want to add another voice, to that choir. One, I think 3 different people have either sent me emails or messages about this person, and I'm going to get it wrong, I'm sure. It's, somebody from Ohio. Is it maybe Dayton Hypernova?
Oh, I've heard about this
Hyponova,
guy.
something Nova, where he talks about getting beaten all the time, and he's a transvestite or something. Yeah, I did see it. Yeah, it's pretty messed up, but I'm not going to do coverage on it because it's already widely covered. But I will say, though, if you do want to go and see something really messed up, I really think it's Dayton Hypernova. Am I right? Does anybody know if I'm saying it right?
I think that's what he goes by. I think his name's also like Earl or something. All I know him from, I watched this like 2 hour long video of him saying that he's getting like beat down by his family, and then he'll go out and like antagonize his family, and then his brother will get mad at him.
Yes, Earl Schultz.
It's pretty fucked.
Yeah, Earl Schultz, but that's not his. I really think his YouTube name is, our channel name is Dayton Hypernova. But that's a really weird one. And one thing with him, I did watch a few videos to see if I wanted to cover it. It's the same story over and over. I mean, like worse than Bob. But in any case, I just want to acknowledge to the people, I know some of you are here, who sent me that recommendation, that I did see it and I did review it, but I chose not to kind of pursue it. And then somebody sent me another one, yet another person out of Ohio, and this person has some run-ins with the West Carrollton Police Department. I don't know if Melhar.
Oh.
I don't know if Melhar is still here because I really don't know that area. if there's a difference between Carrollton and West Carrollton. And no, I didn't look it up like I wanted to. Because sometimes a city will have a city name, and then you have the west of that city and east of that city.
Yeah.
But this person has, and she goes by Penny Lane. And I'm digging deeper into this, but I just want to let you guys know what I am looking into, so maybe you guys can watch and help along with crafting or creating a story. But she seems to think that CPS, Child Protective Services, is corrupt. She seems to support the idea that CPS gets involved in child trafficking. She thinks that the family courts are corrupt. She also, like I said, I believe the West Carrollton police either stormed or raided is too strong of a word, but basically went into a place that she was in to find her. And here's the thing. She doesn't tell her story over and over and over again. So I don't really know if like her kids were taken away and she thinks they're taken away in error or what it is. So maybe that's some homework for you guys. Help me out here because she has a lot of videos and I'm very busy, so I don't have a chance to watch every single moment. But keep an eye on this one. I think this one has the potential of being, if not a cow, definitely a calf. Oh, Mel responded here.
I don't know. That's possible.
Yeah, there's the Carrollton Police Department, and then there's the 12th Street Police Department that only deals with Bob. Yeah, so have a watch out for her. Let me see what Milton said. You got to check out Nappy Head Roots guy. Oh, you know what, Militant Artist? I want to say this. See, I'm going to go from my quick memory here. You could tell me if I'm right or wrong. Does this Nappy Head Roots guy like maybe live in some city in California and maybe goes out at night and records like drug dealers or people walking on the street or something like that? Did anybody else know him? Do you? 3GG?
I don't know. It just sounds funny.
Yeah, I want to say I know this, not know him, but yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't think the video was recommended. I think it actually came up one of my YouTube recommended videos. Oh, you've watched Bob McKim. You might like Nappy Head Roots guy. You know? And then last but not least, from what I'm watching here, is this here. The channel name is Maybe Island 2. And folks, I don't know what to feel about this. A colleague actually sent this to me, but it's one of my colleagues who doesn't tell me why he wants me to see something. He likes to leave it to me. But what we have here, and I've tried to watch, I've tried to understand, this appears to be a mother and son. Now, the mom is the mom is middle-aged, but she's still, this picture is probably not the best one, but in some of her other videos, she dresses and acts like she's still shopping at Forever 21. Her son, who is, I'm going to say under 18, I don't want to say anything offensive or to get myself in trouble, but just notice this reaction here and the fact that he's wearing a purple shirt. And they do reactions to videos, mainly these young singers who sing. So I'm going to tell you guys, go have a look at maybe Island 2, and maybe next week I'll ask you guys for your thoughts on these two. I'm not ready to put them in as lolcows or calves, but I know the fact that my colleague sent me this particular thing, there's got to be something here for me to find.
No, we haven't.
Not yet, second. It's coming up. So there is that. All right. So we did that. Oh, we covered a lot already. So this week, Bob put out a video. And in his video, he talked about his medications, which I have a lot of observations on. I'm sure some of you caught it. I'm actually hoping Second Generation caught a lot of the things that I caught given her background. I just need to flip here. So Bob starts his video. He reads scripture, boring as hell. He goes on about his insulin. I'm not going to play the insulin thing because basically, if you overdose or misuse your insulin, you'll kill yourself. So clearly, he's most likely not misusing his insulin. And one thing that we've talked about in the past that we found in this video is the Christmas tree, folks, has reappeared. We now know what happened to the Christmas tree. So if you look at the picture,
it's a Christmas miracle.
Yes, if you look at the picture on the screen right now, or the thumbnail, there's Bob, and you see there's the file cabinet like right to the left of him.
Uh-huh.
Instead of moving the Christmas tree, Bob put the file cabinet in front of the Christmas tree. And,
oh my God.
And we could see it clearly now in this video. So there you have it. So the Christmas tree has stayed in place. He's got the file cabinet. On top of the file cabinet, we have the reflective vests that he wears. And the corner in the bottom left there is Renee's recliner. And mind you, all of this is directly below the hole in the ceiling. But I'm pleased to know that the Christmas tree is still there, and Bob is celebrating the birth of Christ 365, 24/7.
He's just trying to get presents all year.
Yeah, right.
You know, that's. I was joking with Second a while ago. I was saying that he pulled all his teeth to try and get him money from the Tooth Fairy.
And he got 2 bills.
Yeah.
So Bob's video, it's like I said, I'm skipping past the scripture and I'm going to try to jump through this. And I didn't say it yet to you guys, but obviously Third knows. Third can now hear the audio as I play it, so we can kind of react to things together. So let's go ahead and look at Bob's recent video. And this was the one, I think it was called, was it Preaching on Galatians?
Now, there are some who have been, lying on me constantly.
Lying on me.
Saying I'm a drug addict.
Addict.
Well, first off, let me show you. This is the insulin I take.
Alright, I don't give a shit about the insulin.
Okay.
Let's go over
That's the insulin I have to take.
Man, Captain Novolin is looking rough.
I tried the needles that were filled.
Alright, here we go.
Now, some also want to say I'm overdosing on my pain medication. If that's the case, I want you to look very closely here.
Look very closely, people.
the date on this medication. This medication is the generic for Xanaflex. Of course, it's prescribed that I am to take it 1 tablet by mouth every 12 hours as needed for pain or muscle spasms.
1 tablet every 12 hours as needed for pain or spasms. Keep that in the back of your head.
I last got this filled on 4/3/2019. 4/3/2019.
So on April 3rd, he got this prescription filled. I think he turned the bottle a little too quick, but you can rest assured that I have scrutinized every angle of this. It was for a quantity of 60 with 1 refill left. You can see the 1 refill right here on your screen. So April 3rd, 1 refill left. The quantity of this dispensation, or how they dispensed this one, was 60 pills. Keep that in the back of your head.
I just got it filled again. Six-3. This month.
I'm stopping here. June 3rd. It was not a good stop because it's a little blurry. June 3rd, he fills this. I want you guys to pay attention to the screen if you can. I'll say it in a little bit. But watch what happens here.
Month.
Oh, I gotta go. Ooh, I paused it just right. June 3rd, he fills these pills. 0 refills left. So if you had 1 back in April, if you filled it again, you clearly have 0. The quantity of this one, folks, is 180 pills. So he's gone from filling 60. Was it 60? I made notes, so I wouldn't say this wrong. Yes, 60 in April to all of a sudden, this prescription is 180 pills in June. So did he call the doctor or something to get these pills increased? That's just my question. We'll continue.
6-3. Because I take 1 at bedtime. I don't take...
He takes 1 at bedtime. He takes 1 every single day at bedtime. So if you get 60, yeah, you're prescribed once a day. You can make that prescription last for 2 months. So now 2 months later, you're now at triple the refill level, and you're taking it every night before you go to bed. But remember what I said earlier? As needed for pain, as needed for muscle spasms. But he's still taking it every single night. And my point here is the consideration that people who get addicted to sleeping pills think that they need that pill to sleep. People who get addicted to alcohol, not that I'm addicted, think that they need that drink to function. So does he have in his head that he has to have this pill in order to sleep? Do I have to have this pill in order to do something? Is this the, baseline, or does this offer the potential for addiction to Xanaflex? I don't know, but it's worthy of consideration. Let's continue. Well, actually, I'm not going to continue. I'm going to look at chat. Where's the Neurontin? I thought the exact same thing, Joe. He's talked about many different pills over the course of the years. And he doesn't talk about Renee's quantities, but I don't want to get into that. Hey, you're right, Gwen. Abusing pharmaceuticals can be painful and deadly. Joe, yeah, I almost missed it too until I don't know what hit me and I had to go back and look. Um, yes, Mike Hunt, doctor shopping is very huge with people who may have addictions or addictive tendencies to medications. And I should probably just talk about that now. Because you said he goes doctor to doctor, gives many scripts as he can. Well, if we remember, there's a video, and I didn't bother to go looking for it, but some of you may remember it. Bob is bitching in a video because some doctor wouldn't sign his disability paperwork. Because I think my understanding is when you're on disability, you have to until you reach a certain age or a certain point, you have to recertify or something like every 3 years or something like that. And so he went to this doctor, and this doctor would not sign off on him, and he was pissed off until he found this other doctor, which I'm going to get into my thoughts on the other doctor soon. But he was livid. The doctor would not even sign off on my disabilities. Yeah, Joe, if he's not doped out, he's just tarted out.
He was already tarted out.
Yeah, right. Very easy to become addicted, yes. And when you have a narrative... Go ahead.
I used to take, I think it was amphetamine for my, when I was in school, I had some ADD problems, and I started to notice after a few months that I couldn't really function at all on days when I skipped it, and that's when I stopped taking that medicine, because I could tell how easily I was becoming affected by it. But Bob doesn't seem to have that kind of awareness. He is hanging on so hard to this whole, oh, I'm sick, oh, I'm disabled, oh, pity me.
And that's, that's exactly where I was going. He's got this whole narrative in his head, which I want to get to soon, that he's disabled. And so now he's taking, and he has to give these stories to the doctors because the doctors need to recertify him. And so the doctors need to treat him accordingly, according to his story. How do you go, and I might be missing something here, but how do you go from a quantity of 60 in April to a quantity of 180 in June without having called your doctor? There's another point. Go ahead.
I have heart pills, and a while ago I had my quantity upped from 30 per refill to 90 per refill. But I had to get doctor's authorization to do that. And I imagine that it's even more serious for a pain medication.
Right. The other option, folks, or the other consideration as a possibility, I'm not making any claims, is maybe he's not addicted. Maybe, and you all remember this one, that there's a street value for some of these drugs, and this is how some people may be making extra money on the side above and beyond their SSI. Just throwing that out there worthy of consideration, not making accusations. Gonna puff this cigarette.
Bob, you shouldn't do that.
Replay this.
You shouldn't do that, Bob. That's what killed Roseanne.
And isn't Roseanne a sleeping pill? That one that starts with A or something? Not Abilify, it was something.
She, I never watched the show. I just read all the outrage news stories about it. But Roseanne was killed off of her own show because the character had a prescription painkiller addiction and was buying them from her neighbors.
Yeah, but I think in real life too, what got her thrown off the real series.
Oh yeah, she was on sleeping pills and called some black woman a monkey or something kind of racist like that.
Yeah. Oh, my kind. I guess the best thing I could say is it probably would take a lot of drugs. It would take a woman to get really drugged up to have sex with him. I guess, was that? Yeah, that was PG-13, wasn't it? All right. So, let's continue.
Oh yeah, how many is in the bottle? How many do I get in the bottle? I only get
Only get.
60.
And notice he only shows the bottle, but yet the other piece of paper he held up for us said 180.
It might be possible
60.
that the paper would say 180, but he's getting 3 bottles of 160 because that's what they used to do with my heart pills. So he's still getting 180.
That's possible, but my question is, what was my question? Shit. It was a valid question in around that too. He only had 1 refill left though in April.
Yeah, that's true, and it did say 60.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I'm not. Well, whatever.
I take them at bedtime only. It's basically 1 pill every night. Now, this pill right here I take, it's considered as a narcotic, but on the low end of the narcotic. It's called Altram or Tramadol, which is the generic form of it.
All right, before we get into Tramadol, people, I want to show you what I went and looked up about Xanaflex, which was the pill he was just talking about before he got to Tramadol. So if we come here to drugs.com, and of course it's not going to work for me. Give me 1 second here. All right. So if we come here to drugs.com, the recommended excuse me, the recommended starting dose is 2 milligrams, right? Repeated at 6 to 8 hour intervals. Bob, I looked at the bottle, is on 2 milligrams, but it's being prescribed every 12 hours. My point here being, is his disability so severe that the doctor has him on starting level, and he's been on these pills for a while, this is not new, but he's been on the basically minimal dosage and taking it in terms of a time frame less than the minimum here. So this here says 2 milligrams, 6 to 8 hour intervals. He's on 2 milligrams. The doctor's telling him to take one every 12 hours PRN as needed for pain. So is he really this disabled? Something to think about. Am I making sense? Did I make sense there?
Yeah, you're making sense. Obviously, you always get the impression that Bob's bullshitting when he talks about his disability, because, it's possible, okay, I'm not going to 100% rule it out. It's possible that there's some physical stuff wrong with him that's out of his control, and he's just really bad at getting it across to people. But the more likely scenario is that he's making it up, people are doubting him, and he's having a whiny hissy fit because people don't believe him.
Yep, exactly.
He talks with such ridiculous hyperbole. Like, I'm never going to forget how he said that every time someone touches his knees, he cries in pain. Like...
Yeah, bullshit.
Then bullshit. Again, he might have some very serious rug burn, and we should all contribute to get him some knee pads.
And the very next day, he's walking to the mailbox. So it's
yeah.
All right, let's continue on with Tramadol. Maybe. Oh, come on. Really? Here we go.
And I'm supposed to take it. Again, take 1 tablet by mouth 3 times a day as needed. I got this last filled on 3/19. Well, I just called. I just have a few left. I called my pain management to let them know I need a refill. So I got to check with my drugstore here.
All right. So now for tramadol, he's on 1 tablet 3 times a day as needed for pain. He doesn't mention in this particular pill if he's still taking it faithfully or if he's really taking it PRN or as needed. This is a 50 milligram dose. So if we go over again to drugs.com about this tramadol, it's tramadol, isn't it?
Yeah.
I just need to fix one thing really quick. I just want to show you guys something. Bear with me. So we find his isn't really for pain. His is more down in the chronic pain, right? Because he's been dealing with this since before 2003 when he went on disability. It's 100 milligrams is that initial dose. And they only have him on 50. So once again, it's a low dose. So it's not even what they give to somebody who's in true chronic pain. And so much for not being able to work and function in life. You know, on both pills that he showed us, he is on the lowest doses possible, on the lowest schedule possible. So it doesn't really make sense to me, that he's doing all this whining, but the doctors don't have him on, you know, these stronger pills or stronger doses. Because like you kind of mentioned and I mentioned, the way he talks, you would think he's dying from his disabilities.
Yeah.
All right, let's see.
Today and see if they received the prescription. There are some people that have been complaining.
The other thing too I want to point out is that I have a personal issue with pain management clinics and pain management doctors. And it's because of, and somebody already said it here, about the opioids and the whole opioid crisis that ultimately may lead into heroin addiction. You know, there's not all, I'm not talking about all pain management clinics and pain management doctors, and I'm not talking about all people in pain. But there are, and we see it in the news, there are a number of these doctors who are unscrupulous, right? And they get busted all the time for these pill scams. You know, they write these prescriptions. You know, I read of one in the news recently where these doctors had the equivalent of like one patient every 2 minutes. You know, it was like a drive-through pain clinic. You know, is that, and I don't know, I'm just throwing it out there, but is that what he's going to? Is some doctor who's, because every person who comes in, you get that office visit that's billable to either Medicare or Medicaid or whatever, you know, is he involved in one of these situations where the doctor's like, oh, okay, you got pain, okay, here, poof, out you go. You know, I don't know. I'm very curious about it. I'm just, but based on his prescription, I think he found a doctor who knows he's not being 100% truthful about his disabilities, and he's just giving him pills to shut him up. You know, doctor, in my opinion, doctor may as well give him placebos to shut him up. Did I lose you, third?
Oh, yeah, no, I was just,
No,
I didn't
that's
really
fine.
have anything to say to
No,
that.
no, that's fine.
You summed it up pretty good.
No, that's fine. It's just, I heard that quiet that we know it sometimes means dead. Yeah, death, drugs, weed is better. Yeah. He does talk about liver issues. And, even in that case, whether his disabilities are real or fake, those medications do have an impact on the liver. And
It doesn't help that
Jennifer,
he.
Jennifer,
Oh, you go ahead.
I was just going to say, I kind of agree. Doctor's giving him the lowest or the wrong dosage just to get him out of there. I mean, he shows up in that lime green outfit doing, trying to be Mr. Cool and whatever. It's like, okay, let's get the smelly, shiny man out of our office. All right, let's continue on here.
Basically, because that's all you do. You complain about my life. You complain about how I live.
We don't complain.
You
We're just
complain
observant.
about what you think I should be doing and how I should be doing it. You complain, because that's basically all you're doing. You're complaining. I need to move some things here out of my way.
I need to get rid of you.
We got this from
So then he
CBS
goes on
Pharmacy
about these
a long time
needle
ago.
disposal
This
containers.
little container. Other different kinds of to have them dispose of that. Recommend to put your needles for cans of.
I want to find something here to stop. All right. Ooh, this is like surgery. All right. So basically, he's saying that there's nowhere in the United States where you can recycle needles. And he's talking about his insulin needles. I will give him, and I did call. You know what, folks? I did have some time earlier this week. I went and I polled 3 different places in the immediate Carrollton area. And yes, none of them take back needles for like medical recycling. They don't. It's just not a thing in his area. But he makes it sound like it's across the entire United States, and that's bullshit. I know for a fact that there are medical recycling, I get what you call them, programs or places in and around like his immediate, his immediate surrounding counties. And no, I'm not suggesting to drive because I did look at the distance on some of them, and it would be a crazy drive just to drop off needles. Okay. But the fact that when he says that this doesn't happen in the United States is total bullshit. It doesn't happen in his backyard, but it does happen in his next county, and it does happen across the nation.
This is like, it's kind of surprising because he loves to tout himself as this big academic doctor, whatever. But it's like, research is Bob's biggest enemy. Like, when's the last time he's actually like not known something and decided to look it up and read about it?
Well, true. And if he did sit down and read about something, we all know about his comprehension levels.
Yeah, that's true. Christianity is Hitler.
And the third, right? And the third consideration there is he reads things in order to prove his own point. So you have a lot of different whammies going on there, when Bob does his research. Let's take a look at you. Actually, can you take a look at chat? Because I need to step away really quick. And this is like for something else.
I'm pulling it up on my phone so I can get the actual up-to-date
I'm
stuff.
sorry, guys. This one's not out of my, or this one is out of my control. I'll be right back.
Ta-da. Okay. So let's see. Jennifer says, I doubt Bob has done any research as CC has, or else he would have known of these bogus scripts. Lol. Yeah, I mean, it's just, when I don't know about something, and I'm pretty sure this is a pretty universal thing, when I don't know about something, I try and look it up somewhere, if I hear something that's just bizarre, I look it up to see if it's true. Like, it's very alien to me see Bob just automatically assume that things are true or false without doing any looking into it. I just personally don't really get that. Let's see. Gwen Shore hates opioids. She's saying that synthetic drugs are death drugs. I mean, in some aspects, you're right, because a lot of like the really, really, really nasty stuff is synthetic. But I do believe there are synthetic drugs that help people. I take some to keep my heart beating properly. So, that being said, I do understand your point. Like especially with the opioids and pain medications, they really are kind of getting out of control these days.
All right, I'm back, guys, and I appreciate your patience this time. This is one of the disadvantages of not having weekends off. So, did I miss anything good? Any great revelations?
Not really. I was just reading some chat stuff. I only read a couple. You were back pretty quick.
Okay, so let's move. Were you done? I didn't want to cut you off.
Yeah, I'm finished. I'm good.
All right, let's move back into his video.
Not United States of America. This is the United States of America, not Canada. So in the United States of America,
here he is talking about the crazy guy from Canada again, aka Jennifer. I don't know if you guys know this. I'm sure you may have realized, but this whole thing with recycling actually started more than a year ago when Jennifer J was talking about recycling and basically shoving it in Bob's face. So Bob's entire discussion about recycling, believe it or not, has actually been going on for more than a year. It's just more, what would you say, represenced a little more strongly right now.
So we had to find some kind of container to, with a lid on it to put our needles in. And
you know what I was thinking when I saw that the first time? Like you know how he shook it like that? I could just hear him being like, "Oh, 69. Oh, 69."
Yeah, it's the Bob McKim bingo.
To put your needles in a empty clothes soap bottle. And that's what
is that
I
like
have
laundry detergent?
Over here, there's coffee cans.
That's what he's talking about.
Putting the needles in.
And so we move into kind of our next part because Bob is now showing the inside of his trailer.
Dun, dun, dun!
So I went ahead, like I do, and prepared a little video to show the before. Oh God, the McKim heroin STD jar.
What? It's just an ordinary kitchen. Oh my goodness!
So I went and I put this together here. Oh boy. We're all going to hell. All right. So here we go. So this was the before. This was before he recycled. And this is after he recycled. There's no difference except for we get to see where he keeps his lime green stuff hanging right next to the door. But look,
he also doesn't show the ceiling fan.
Yeah, nothing has changed. There's the I'm going to assume it's the broken vacuum is still there. All those piled up things. You know what? Oops. Let me go back. Hang on. I realize that they use insulin every day. I don't know if it's they. I know he does. That's a lot of containers there. So he's not going to the recycling place on any consistent basis. I mean, they're in the background there along the floor, maybe right under the sink. There seems to be stuff. Is that stuff lined up on the floor, or does a cabinet happen to be missing a door? I can't tell.
He's trying to pull a Ricardo Lopez and make a needle bomb to infect people.
Yeah, and my point here in highlighting this is, remember, y'all, he made a big deal about going to the recycling place and recycling. He did not put a dent in that kitchen area, whatever you want to call it, kitchen dining area. It is still filled with shit.
Oh no, that's in the other jugs behind Renee's chair.
Going back, so in his video, I'm not going to continue on with that Galatians video, but Bob talks about, remember he was shaking the pill bottle or whatever he had it in, and he was talking and he's going on and on and on about, there's no medical recycling, there's no this, there's no that. And then he talked in his video, we didn't see it yet, but he talked about the fact that he bought biohazard bags, right? So he puts these, because he has to throw it away, so it's got to go in regular trash. And so he puts his stuff in a biohazard bag. If I already had a neighbor who I thought was nuts and crazy, and now on garbage day, he's hauling out stuff in biohazard bags, I'd be building a wall in between my trailer and his, like, stay the fuck out, buddy. I mean, does he think he's special or that he's cool because he's putting stuff out at the side of the road in biohazard bags? And he talks about the fact that he can't afford to pay for medical recycling because there are some services, but there's a fee where you can like mail your needles in and the rest. But I went over to Amazon because I just wanted to know about these biohazard bags. So I found these. I don't know if these are the ones he got. So it's a pack of 100. There's 7 to 10 gallons, a small garbage can. And this actually just came up cheaper than when I originally made the screenshot. They're on sale, folks, if you need biohazard bags. But they range from anywhere from $20 to $30. Today, they're $13.94. They were $19.99 when I originally brought this screen up. So he's paying anywhere from $20 to $30, or here, $15 to $30 to buy these special bags. It makes no sense to me. And before I go on, let me just take a look at chat here. Yeah, Jennifer, that's funny. Put your hand in a jar, pull out a needle. If your needle comes out red, you get a sucker.
Gwen is putting something about he should go to the gym and work off that blob with his Solar Sneakers disability benefit. Like, okay, like I'm being serious here. I used to go to a cardiac rehab thing, and it was not just like a specifically cardiac rehab. There were some other rehabilitation type exercises going on at that place. They had a guy with no legs working out, okay? They had a girl in a wheelchair who could like only move her arms a little bit. Like, if these people are getting up and going to the gym and working out what little they can just to see whatever small benefits that can yield for them, then Bob really doesn't have any excuse. Like, there isn't a single part of his body he can work out with and burn a few calories, Yeah,
you're right. He's just, he likes his narrative that he's disabled because of the fact that he's been reckless his entire life and he's been fired from basically every job. The only job he had for any consistency was the paperboy job, and it was his mother who got him the job. He didn't even take the initiative to get that job, right?
And his parents drove him around.
Yeah.
He likes to leave that part out, but he wasn't on a bicycle the whole time. His parents drove him for a considerable fraction of that job.
And if I remember some videos, he was carrying the bike around with him. That's you're supposed to ride the bike, not carry it, Bob. But
the bike was riding him.
Yeah, right. He must have been everybody in that block must have got a paper subscription just to watch him walking down the street carrying his bike, and they're all laughing like, "Look, he's supposed to be riding it, but he's carrying it." But if we look here at these biohazard bags down towards the bottom in the description, third bullet point down says a must for any hospital, nursing home, lab, or medical facility. Yet here's Bob McKim buying these bags, which it's totally not needed. And why do I say this? Well, we know that there's some rural areas that do not have a medical recycling program. So I took it upon myself to see what the state of Ohio had to say about it, right? And down here, second paragraph on the bottom, it basically says to put it inside, milk jugs, or like he said, detergent, anything strong like the Folger containers. And you just write in very big block letters, sharps, on all sides of the container. It doesn't say go out and get special medical bags. It says put it inside a sturdy container and write the word sharps everywhere on it, on all sides. All right, fine and dandy. In my search for medical recycling, guess what I came upon? Yes, and we're going to get to this place very soon. CCH. CCH. Again, something I forgot to do, my bad. So that was the recycling place that Bob went to recently when he was showing off how he recycles. We go down here to syringes and hypodermic needles. And it basically says, put it inside an empty plastic pop bottle or coffee container, something sturdy, and just write on there, household syringes. That's all he needs to do and throw it out. He didn't need to spend $15 to $30 on special bags just to freak out his damn neighbors.
I mean, to be fair, anything that's been in that trailer I would want. I would feel a little bit better knowing that it's in a biohazard bag.
Yeah, but you know what? Take that biohazard bag and put it inside a garbage bag. If I had biohazards in my place, I would not want my damn neighbors to know that I have a biohazard within my place. Right?
I'm pretty sure any of his neighbors with a nose know that there's biohazard stuff in there.
That poor guy across the street, I can't think of it. Bob has said it a couple times. But he must be like, oh shit, I'm not even shoveling his snow.
Yeah, he doesn't need to shovel the snow. He just comes outside, takes the breath of air, and then just starts vomiting in the snow to melt it.
All right. So I think that was it from that video. That video, by the way, was like 30% silent. So it was painful. It was painful to watch, but I did watch it, but I wanted to watch it with a very careful eye. Because, Bob can make, I don't remember how long that video was, but let's just say it was 12 minutes, right? Bob can make a 12-minute video, but you can do a 2-hour dissertation video showing how he is bullshitting or wrong about many of the things he says. And we're not even talking about the scripture, and we're not talking about the theology. We're talking about simple things like his medications and needles and the rest. I don't know what he's trying to prove with his lies. I think he likes that whole, woe is me. Look how horrible my life is. Woe, again, another reference to my big fat Greek wedding, woe to me. He wants people to feel sorry for him. and it's not going to happen. All right, let's
You know, I know I have some toxic people in my life who they like to make things about themselves all the time. Second knows who I'm talking about, and they'll fabricate these bizarre stories that everyone knows is false, but it makes them feel like they're right, and they will fight tooth and nail to try and prove you wrong or get you to shut up.
Yeah.
So I think Bob's a lot like that.
Yeah. And Jennifer, what you just said about he needs to preach on gratitude reminds me of that video from, what was it, Bisexual Ministries? Was it International?
Yeah.
But
I think it's Incorporated.
Incorporated, sorry. Yeah, Bisexual Ministries Incorporated, that video on gratitude, and it was supposed to be about being thankful, and Bob's like, I'm thankful, but for Thanksgiving, I got this free ham, and I really, everybody else got turkey, I wanted ham, and I got these sweet potatoes, but it should be white potatoes. He's not capable of having any gratitude for what he has, and if he wants to follow his Bible, he doesn't have capability of having gratitude for what he doesn't have. But I'm not getting into those deep spiritual discussions here. I'm going to scroll up in the chat a little bit before we go on to the next. Go ahead, Joe. Call hoarders. I think they'd love to hear from you. Second said he only goes on leap years. Go ahead.
Jennifer, I found the link for you. I'm going to share the gratitude video with you. So. There you go. Yeah, that's Bisexual Ministries' little compilation of Bob being a dick, basically, about free stuff he was given.
Bob Dog says his brain is broke, yo. He can't learn how to figure it out. Pity the damn bastard. Yeah. Except at one point I had pity for Bob, but now it's just, I could see how he tries to play that card, and he's not getting it from me. Second, I'd rather put Renee's diapers in a garbage bag. But he makes a big deal about these needles that makes no sense to me. He probably even takes it out in his lime green outfit with the security cap, carrying out like it's some big deal. My biohazards. Look, everybody, look, biohazards.
Screaming in pain as he carries them like he's Samson tearing down like the Colosseum. Oh, my spina bifida occulta makes this so difficult. Lord, give me strength.
I have the occult in this bag.
I have Renee's diapers, aka the entire recliner. It's so heavy.
So let's go on to Bob's interview. So, as many of you know or don't know, I'm going to have to pause this, though. Uh-oh. Do I not have it? It may or may not be coming up. Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Bob. Oh. It would help if I turned it on.
Okay,
the devil turned it off.
I know. So Bob goes in his little security drag outfit. I noticed this time he even has his medic alert bracelet hanging out. I've seen it before, but this time he is just all decked out with his drag wear. He goes to... Go ahead.
He changed her name. He fixed her name.
He did fix her name. I was going to bring that up. So Bob goes and he interviews this woman from CCH Environmental Group they also run some of the recycling centers, including the one closest to his house. Originally, when he went and made this video and uploaded it, I'm glad I took a cap of it, he spelled her name wrong. You would think that if you're going to go somewhere and interview somebody, you would spell their name right. And there was a lot of people commenting in different places, and suddenly I think within the last day and a half, he actually changed the name to Paige, Paige, instead of, as you see on the screen, how he had it originally, Page, Page. And I get that people misspell names, but I would think that if you just went to interview someone, you would know the proper spelling of their name.
Yeah. Like, I did 15 seconds worth of research and found her actual spelled name. Like, I looked at it, I'm like, is her name really spelled like a book page? And I look it up, 15 seconds later, nope, you spelled her name wrong.
And you did 15 seconds of research, and I did 5 seconds of research reading your tweet to me. So, in the last video, because I didn't play it all the way to the end, Bob tries to give you a teaser, which was that same medication video saying, later on today, I am going to be interviewing a county official. That's all he says. He doesn't say what it's about. He just says that he's going to interview a county official. I'm going to show you guys, this is what a county official is. And we'll keep this in the back of your heads for when we continue on this video. So a county official means somebody who's a member of the board of supervisors, the sheriff, the assessor, the district attorney, any county employee or member of a county board who's required to file this whole statement of interests, which is like pursuant to the Political Reform Act. So it's not going to apply to the janitor, the part-time help, the person who answers the phones. It's somebody in a very, what would you say, important position or high-profile position, which would require them to disclose their political interests. So,
right.
So enter Paige. Poor woman. I mean, he must have like talked to her on the phone, and when he got there, she must have thought, "Oh, look at this poor little retarded man. I'll help him with a little video for his little group home project."
It's a 95-year-old Boy Scout.
Yeah, right. So let's play the video. And of course, in the very beginning, I'm going to start here. He has to get in his credentials.
Okay, hello. This is evangelist Dr. Robert L. McKim Sr. from Carrollton, Ohio. Also, as you know, the president and founder of the Community Awareness Emergency Response Security Radio Patrol Organization. I'm here with Paige.
Yes.
I like that he hesitated. I'm here with Paige. Am I right? Am I right?
Yeah.
Am I right? I just love this. This is like the classic of the entire video.
She is the.
I'm here with this unimportant person.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And she is the and he has the point to her to give her what she is.
Reach specialist.
For the
CCH environmental.
So I'm hesitant with your name. I've come all the way here to interview. I don't know your title. And where is it you work? Like, where am I right now? It's like
you didn't see the sign on your way in, jackass?
A good host would be like, and I'm here today with third-generation German American, who is the community outreach specialist for the CCH Environmental Group. But no, here's Bob. I'm here with, was it Paige? Yeah. And you're the, what? I mean, it was like the most retarded thing I've seen. And yeah, you're right, Bob Dog. She was incredibly patient.
And which is long version of it, so they'll know.
Carroll, Columbiana, and Harrison County were the solid waste district, or the recycling is also better known as.
Yeah, recycling. And that's why I'm here. I wanted to let you people in on really what goes on with recycling in our area.
All right, so that goes on. because they're sitting across from each other, I don't have good points to make little breaks and whatnot. But basically, what Bob is doing, in my opinion, with this interview is to try to prove that he's a recycler and he's a good person, and he wants her to validate him for his trolls, right? I mean, and that's really what it seems to be. And he goes on to say, oh, I did forget something before, but he goes on to say, well, people think I'm a hoarder. I just don't like going to the recycling place on a frequent basis. How does she say it? I can't even think of how he says it, but I don't want to make frequent
Bob's like
trips.
every day and every day and every day. That's what he says.
Yeah. So
he makes it sound like we're asking him to go every 5 minutes.
So right, exactly. And then he also tries to make the claim that we don't want him to recycle. I think everybody and their mother, and I've said this already, is telling him, get shit out of that trailer. Den Man, I could tell you, an email was sent, but it was too late on Friday, and plus she's part-time. In any case, we're telling him to get shit out of the trailer. And so he's saying, oh, it's these special trips and this and this and this. So I mentioned this last week, but this time I want to give you guys some maps. So just to be responsible, I blurred out Bob's address. I know he doxes himself, but I'm not allowed to. So from his house to the Carrollton Assembly of God, where he allegedly goes every Wednesday night for services and every Sunday for Sunday school services, and of course the free meal at the social, it's 2.7 miles or 7 minutes from his house. Fine. So keep that in mind, 2.7 miles. Ooh. To go to the recycling plant, which could be on his way to church, it only puts him a half a mile out of his way. So on his way on Wednesday to church, or on his way on Sunday, he could actually come down. It doesn't add too much time. It only adds half a mile. Stop at the recycling center, throw shit inside those blue dumpsters, and then continue on to church. But he makes it sound like it's this whole big, massive ordeal when it is not. So then I got to thinking, okay, well, maybe Bob doesn't go to church as often as he says. So I decided to pull the distance between Discount Drug Mart, because we know he lives there every month, to the recycling plant on Canton Road. It's only a half a mile down the road. So even when he goes and refills his prescriptions, there's no excuse he can't take his used syringes with him, go get his pills, drop them off at the recycling thing, go back home. But he makes it sound like it's an uphill both ways and snow up to his knees thing to do, when in reality, it's right there.
I mean, shit, I could probably load up. I mean, I don't handle the trash that my roommates do on their way to work, but I could probably walk that distance and back with just a little wagon of trash behind me or something.
Yeah.
That would be exercise and doing the trash. But I think Bob probably could too. Honestly, it'd be a struggle, but
I've seen Bob's walk from his trailer to the mailbox. And granted, he walks like an Oompa Loompa, but still, the distance from his trailer to that mailbox can't be too much different than the distance from Discount Drug Mart to the recycling place. All right, let's look at chat really quick. Did anyone reach out to pay? Yeah, okay, answered that. Gotta give him more special money.
Den Man, what is your avatar? Is that like a gourd?
And here's the thing with Jennifer J out of Canada. She does this recycling, right? But she makes money from it. I was actually blown away, and I hope I'm not speaking from bad memory here, but like she could take something like a 2 liter bottle and she gets 25 cents for it. And so Jennifer spends, I'm going to guess, I believe 3 to 4 hours a day digging through garbage. I'm not a big fan of it. I'm going to tell you because I have concerns about it. But Jennifer goes every single day to dig through garbage, and she makes good money. But Jennifer, who's also on a very limited income, takes that recycling money, and she made $400 today. Look at this, and
Holy shit.
and she converts it into meat and food. Now she lives in like the Yukon. What costs us 99 cents a pound is costing her like $80 a pound. Just because of the cost of getting it there. I exaggerate, but you know what I mean. But she's taking this money and she's using it to help with her survival. She's using it for food. She's using it for other stuff. And this is why Jennifer is really big on recycling. Here in the U.S., yeah, some of us can put it right out at our curb and it disappears and it goes off wherever. We don't give two thoughts about it, right? But for her, that's a money-making opportunity. Oh, you're right, militant artist. $4. Okay. Jennifer, I thought 400.
Okay.
I thought 400 was a lot, but
Yeah.
But yeah, $4. Still $4 for just going outside, getting fresh air, getting vitamin D from sunlight, and you know what? I'm trying not to saint Jennifer here, but she's also a transsexual in the Yukon in an area that doesn't widely embrace her, and she runs a better chance of getting attacked in the Yukon than perhaps in some parts of the U.S., especially while digging through the garbage. So it's like I told you guys in the past, her story is just incredible. But the point is, Jennifer has a whole different relationship with recyclables, than Bob does. Because damn well, if Bob could get 25 cents per 2 liter bottle, he'd be digging through people's houses, not even the garbage. He'd be knocking at people's doors, right? One thing I did miss in this last thing here is Bob went to the recycling place and I showed the before and after picture that there was really not much difference of the look at the place. So this only goes more to confirm my belief that Bob has a strong likelihood of being a hoarder. He saves everything. So let's look at the very first paragraph or paragraphs. Hoarding disorder is a persistent difficulty discarding or parting with possessions because of a perceived need to save them. And we look at all the things he has. He saves newspaper clippings. That tornado hit, 2 weeks ago in the Becky Lynn trailer park? He printed out the article in color, and damn well he saved it. He has that article where he was Paper Boy of the Month. And you know what? For nostalgia's sake, okay, I can kind of see keeping some different things, right? But he saves everything. That file cabinet he has probably has a whole drawer on anything related to Lucille Loader. And that's all he did was join a search party. So I think we have a very strong likelihood that this is a hoarding disorder more than anything else.
No, I think he definitely is a hoarder. Um,
And he doesn't clean. He's lazy. I remember
that's true.
I looked at that griddle, and I didn't just look at that griddle when he was making those hash browns and was it sausage or bacon, whatever he was making. But I looked at all the stuff around that griddle, and it was covered with grease splash from the griddle. Right? I looked at that soap, the hand soap bottle on his sink. Remember, I think somebody thought it was alcohol at some point in time, and he had to do the whole thing. Look at soap, it's soap. That bottle looked more disgusting than touching a petri dish. It was horrible. You're right, Luna. He has every other mental disorder. Why wouldn't he be a hoarder? It's kind of like the cherry on top.
You remember when he was doing one of those cooking videos and he was like applying the quote unquote bland oil to the griddle, saying that it opens up the pores?
Yeah.
He's exfoliating the griddle.
And there was the one time he put something on the griddle, and I can't remember how this all went down, and then he makes a 20-minute video or something to that effect. And he's like, I think I need to go flip my sausage now.
Yeah, he leaves for like 15 minutes.
It's like, what temperature do you have this on, buddy?
Oh, and then he's like raking he had that long, like, Ben Franklin hair, and he was like running his fingers through his hair with the sausage grease.
Yeah, right. All right, so usually by Saturday morning, I wrap up the production, so to say. There's no more additions. That's it. I'm done. I go to lunch. I take a nap. I do whatever I need to do. Well, that didn't happen today because remember Paige from the interview? Paige tweeted Bob on Twitter today. And this is what Paige sent to Bob. So look, Paige, CCH Paige, has the CCH logo, replying to his video about the thing, so it replies to him in YouTube. I was happy to appear on your channel. Someone emailed me a picture claiming it was the inside of your trailer. Is this true? And she turns around and posts a picture of the inside of his trailer. So I'm thinking that Paige has now seen the light. I can tell you guys that I am not the one who mentioned the hoarding to Paige. I had other questions for her. So I didn't, this had nothing to do with me, but it happened. I don't know what time I did this, but this is probably within the last 12 hours or so that Paige sent this. Bob has not, as far as I know, has not replied to it yet. And Bob does, comparing Bob and Whittington, Bob does react to or reply to his tweets. I'll give him that one. So that's the latest development there. And last but not,
and Gwen,
go ahead. Go ahead.
The wall will be completed when we find some way to keep the workers from passing out from the smell coming out of his trailer.
And what was the name of that bacteria or whatever in the water? It started with a G.
Giardia.
Giardia, yeah.
Yeah, they're getting it from just skin contact now. It's pretty intense.
Between the Giardia and the biohazard bags.
Just getting a giant biohazard bag and putting it over his trailer. That's what they're considering now.
Oh my god, I wonder if they make a biohazard bag big enough to fit that trailer.
It's just gonna be like a fumigation tent.
Oh, Gwen, that's very interesting. that maybe Paige, considering that she works for the environmental group, is asking those leading questions to get him condemned or committed. Interesting. Well, we shall see. I'm sure there's going to be some rant video, I'm going to say by Wednesday. He usually doesn't do Sunday videos. So last but not least, I mentioned very early on, and some of you have been anxiously waiting for this, we have where Bob calls in to Michele Marie Dalene's show. And I have some commentary about Bob on this, and I have some commentary on Michele. So let's go over. I pulled this material from Joe Hester, who did a really good job of bringing it all together. If you know anything about one of Michele's streams, it would take me probably an hour to do what Joe did, so I'm grateful for that. So let's go on over and look at this call.
So, this is going to get fun. Okay, Joe, this would be your chance to call in right now. The phone just freed up. If you want to call in, Joe, we call you on the air.
Hello, this is Evangelist Dr. Robert L. McKim Sr. from Carrollton, Ohio.
Oh, what?
Right now, I'm in mourning because my father passed away.
So, folks, here's the thing about Michele. And I want to say this so objective and so news reporter-like, right? We've talked before that Michele is legally blind and she's extremely hard of hearing. I can't wrong her for this. It's just in her makeup. She can't control it. One thing that I will say is that Michele takes her streams very seriously, and she has dreams of being in the YouTube partner program. That's where they you can put ads in and make money and all these things. Michele does have glasses. Michele does have a hearing aid, but she doesn't wear them on her show. So the most important thing in her life, which is her show or her live stream, she doesn't wear these hearing aids or wear these glasses, yet she wants to respond to chats and take live callers. So I'm going to go back a little bit. So you need to understand, also what I learned today in her live stream today is that those headphones she's wearing are from the 1970s. So the headphones she's wearing are 40 years old minimum. So you got 40-year-old headphones, somebody who's extremely hard of hearing, somebody who's has the focus of a squirrel, and she's taking calls and trying to pay attention to her chat. So let's go back and now listen to this, knowing all those things.
So, this is going to get fun. Okay, Joe, this would be your chance to call in right now. The phone just freed up. If you want to call in, go ahead, call you on the air.
Hello, this is Evangelist Dr. Robert L. McKim Sr. from Carrollton, Ohio.
Oh, what?
Right now, I'm in mourning because my father passed away. Girlfriend, daughter, and there's nothing in the courthouse. Nothing in the courthouse. They said they were legally married.
Okay. For those of you who do not know, right now I just turned on the end.
So Michele can't understand her caller. You have a grown man crying on her call. Michele can't focus. Michelle can't read her chat. So if you notice, he's talking, she's over here trying to read what people are saying, right? And then she turns on her Discord chat, and in the middle of Bob's cry about this whole thing, she's like, so for those of you who don't know, I turned on my Discord chat. Totally ignoring the caller. And this is common with Michelle. She doesn't listen to her callers, or she can't hear them. I don't know why she takes calls. I don't. I appreciate her calls, don't get me wrong, because some of them are funny as shit. But here's this man going on, and she's like, yeah, okay.
And they just cute.
And do what they want to do with him and leave me totally out of everything. They are taking everything that he owns, everything that he made, everything that was my mother.
I have no.
I'm his only biological son, and they're stealing my inheritance.
Who is this?
Who is this?
They need to be stopped. I do not have a money for an attorney, and attorneys need to wait up.
What about an attorney?
Oh boy.
They were not legally married.
Michelle, can you hear me?
Lose when it comes right down to it. When I do get an attorney, you are going to be losing, and you will not be a judge in Tuscaloosa County ever again. You will be dismissed.
Oh. Okay.
And folks, Michelle's like, okay, I could promise you she's not hearing this, and this is all going way over her head. She knows there's some sounds going on. She's not hearing what's going on. And so she's like, okay.
My dad told me things to my face.
Okay.
Okay.
And he called me on the phone. I don't have my dad no more. And they're stealing my inheritance.
What do I think about that? I'm not sure exactly what the call was saying.
No, me either.
So she hung up on him.
Attorney.
The caller was rambling on, I wasn't sure what it was. No, it was not
Something about
Stacy.
an attorney, Michelle. Go for it, Michelle. Please just speak.
I gotta answer this phone first. Go ahead, call you in the air.
Well, Michelle, kick this fucking meth mouth Scott off the fucking air. I hate this fucking bitch.
That was, if you guys don't know, Michelle had a guest from, I think she's from Scotland, in the background. That was kind of like the Scottish accent. I think it's the Scott, whatever accent you heard. And I'm not even going to get into her right now. But Michelle has her in the background. It's supposed to be like a co-host or a guest on the show. So that this caller is talking about her.
All right, now the so-called bitch isn't even talking.
Yeah, well, still, kick her ass off. Fuck these fucking pricks. Like, you got the Scottish Stacy prick, then you got this mess mouth chick. What the fuck? You got every weirdo from Scott calling in and fucking getting on this goddamn stream? Fuck.
I'm fucking half American. Don't just say I'm Scottish. Don't just say I'm Scottish. I'm half
I tell you to brush your teeth when you got none.
I've been brought up in America, so don't fucking say that I'm just Scottish, because I'm not. I'm both. So if you're gonna diss me, get it right.
Look, anyways, that was a good caller. The last caller seemed to be pretty broken up. His fucking dad died. Jeez. Poor fucking guy.
Right now we're up to 14 people again. That's pretty good.
And look, this guy is on the phone. This guy's on the phone. He's like talking about, oh my God, this guy's dad just died. He's all broken up. And she's like all off into her phone like, oh wow, there's 14 people watching right now. She doesn't. She does not pay attention to her callers.
I was hoping that we're gonna try to get more crossovers in here because I seem to do
It's
okay.
like what Joe said in the chat. We gotta have a moment of silence for fucking Robert Elba Kid CJ's dead dad. Let's have a moment of silence for, what the fuck is his name? What the fuck was his name, Joe? I can't remember.
So anyway, you may donate. Okay, let's see. Michelle's you weren't hip somebody sucks. What?
Michelle, we gotta have a moment of silence for Bob's dead dad.
I just gave you a like
That poor guy just called
50%.
in. He got his fucking
Can we have him up in a
stolen and
silence
everything.
for his passed away father? Okay.
Like, bring up the pan and shit and start banging on it. We gotta have a fucking, what the hell do you call it? What'd you do last time? It was,
Oh,
to get
Reverend,
Dusty
okay,
back
Reverend
or
Lewis
some
the
shit?
pastor. Okay, I did not know that. Yeah, I know his son. Yeah, by the way, I talked to him in the past, but his son stopped talking to me. Which kind of sucks. So,
Yeah, but like bang on the pan or some shit so we can, and we'll like have a fucking wake for this fucking poor guy's dad. That's fucking cool.
does anybody know why his father passed away?
I heard it was natural causes, but this guy's fucking girlfriend is stealing this poor fucker's inheritance of fucking Tupperware and shit.
Oh, okay, I get it.
Whoa.
Yeah, ring the calendar. Ring the fucking calendar. We gotta ring the
Let me
calendar
see.
for his dad.
Alright, let me get the damn calendar thing a second.
So, if you guys don't know, Michelle has this religious practice. It's usually more involved than what we're going to see, but it's very Buddhist-like, if you will. You know, it's like a ringing of a bell. But Michelle can't afford a bell. You got to say this with a straight face. So,
Oh my god, it's the colander.
so yes, she bangs a colander. And she's done this numerous. This isn't new. Her thing is she bangs this colander, and her voice gets deep, almost like out of something like out of The Exorcist. And she starts talking in really bad Latin, and she'll ring the colander. She'll be like, "In nome de Patre et Filii et Spiritus Sancti." And so she rings her colander. So I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a backstory before we continue.
Just give me get that, okay? Just give me get up. I gotta get up. Yeah. Just give me a second here. Gotta get over to get it. It's in the kitchen. Hold on a minute.
Of course it's in the kitchen. Hopefully it's clean. And look, Jennifer J says this is why she stopped
see,
being
where
a
I
guest
shove
on the
it.
show.
I think it's in that it's in the pantry. Oh, it's in the pantry. Alright. Alright. Yeah. What, you got a toilet for every year of his life? Oh my god. I don't think so. 60 times? 70 times? I don't think so. Is that good?
Here we go, guys.
Alright. Give me a second, guys. I'm getting all tied up in cords here. When are you gonna go with cordless microphones and shit? Someday. Yeah, it's what CCR says. Someday never comes.
Hey, Gwen, really quick. I know you've mentioned Brave a couple times and about the bat tokens. Don't share the link here, but isn't there some write-up on Kiwi Farms about that? Was there some issue or some kind of Brave ban or something? I didn't really read it, but are you familiar with it? I just want to throw it out there that there is something going on with that I saw on Kiwi Farms. We'll continue.
Well, cordless microphones are expensive as fuck, too. No kidding. Alright. So, So Louis McKim Sr.
No, well, his dad was Robert L. McKim.
Hey, Michelle.
May his father go to the right or his only biological son.
Bob would be so pleased.
Yeah, that's true. Bobbert's real torn up about this.
Alright,
I'm
well,
very thoughtful of you, Michelle. I'm proud of you.
wait up. Okay, thank you. Red Bob's dad, the quiz report, Nastipedia WordPress, new pictures are up. Very nice, Michelle. Thank you. Whatever.
Red Bob's lucky Tupperware he could have inherited. His fucking dad's girlfriend took it all away.
Well, here's the question I have for his son, Lewis, is when is Lewis ever going to come back in the show again? Or come on to the chat again?
It's kind of been exciting since his dad, Bob, threatened to fucking throw him out of a window, but
that's yeah. In full disclosure, folks, I did exchange messages with Michelle this week, and I basically told her I had no interest in being on her show or being her friend, and told her that she has people within her immediate viewer group who have very good ideas for her show, but she just doesn't listen. And I constantly referred her back to people like she has somebody on her show a lot who's a really good guy, The Cringe Report, who gives her very good ideas for how her show needs to go. But Michelle doesn't listen to anyone, and I'm not talking from physical hearing loss, just Michelle doesn't listen. We'll continue.
because Bob's dad is dead, and we have to respect his
Well, like I
wishes.
said, I really didn't know his father. I know that Jennifer knew him more than me.
And I don't want to. I want to stop, but I think Michelle may have it in her head. I'm not 100% sure, but Michelle may be thinking right now that Bob died. You know, Lewis's father died. I don't think Michelle realizes that it would be the equivalent of Lewis's grandfather, because the way she's talking, it almost sounds like she thinks my dad died.
I didn't really like him, so I don't know much to say about his dad. I guess it's better to be too nice than to be nasty.
That was good of you to bring the call.
People are coming on this and they're just looking for. Sorry for interrupting. People are coming on this and they're just looking for arguments. I'm not interested in that.
But I'm going to get off of here and pull up the callers so someone else can call in. I'll talk to you later. What's Bob's dad? Rest in peace.
So, folks, there you have it. That was our week of lolcows, between Bob's videos and then the crossover, if you will, with Bob going on to Michelle's show or calling in. I have a sneaky suspicion this is not going to be the last time Bob will maybe call into Michelle's show. I think this happened on Tuesday. Sometimes I'll put the live stream on like in the background while I'm working. I didn't even listen to it on Tuesday. I had probably 3 to 4 messages. We'll just say 3. of people telling me what happened on the stream, and like, you got to watch this. And so, I went in and I had to endure. And that was a long stream. One thing I don't think I mentioned is in her first hour of the show, she had a gentleman on. He goes by Griggy. He has a channel called The Grigster. And, The Grigster, he was a guest, but he's a very dynamic guy. He's very good at what he does. He has very good command of his content. He knows how to deal with callers. Now, I did watch one or two videos of his show. He doesn't seem to get the crazy callers. But while he was on Michelle's show for that first hour, and Michelle was getting some of her crazy callers, he handled them, right? He handled it like a pro. He had very good command. And so that first hour of her show it was amazing. Of course, it wasn't because of her being the host. It was because of the guests she had. But once he left, because he kind of left about an hour into it, the remaining, what was it, the 3 hours of that show? I think it was almost like a 4-hour stream. The remaining 3 hours just fizzled right out. It was riding on the fumes of that first hour till eventually the whole thing just puttered out. It got to a point on that Tuesday stream, so you obviously had the Bob call in, but you also had the caller. I mentioned, the lady from Scotland. Can't think of her name off the top of my head. Maggie, maybe. But Maggie and one of the callers are going head to head, like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, like arguing back and forth. So Michelle didn't even take control of her own stream and her own show. This just all happened. Yeah, is it funny? Yeah, it's completely funny for me as a viewer. But I would think as a host who wants to have a more serious show, you'd be taking, a little more control. I watch Michelle, or I don't know why, I keep it out in the background. It's kind of like one of my guilty pleasures because I've always enjoyed things like Cops. I've always, the Raw stuff. I've always liked Jerry Springer and those kinds. So when you watch the show, you never know what you're going to get between the callers and the rest of the people. One of the favorite people, I've told you guys last week, she had this thing going on I called it Blockgate. So she had been blocking a whole bunch of people. People were upset that they were getting blocked. Well, people started calling her a Nazi, which was funny. Well, this character appears in her stream, and I don't want to get the name wrong, but this person comes in, maybe with the name of like Michelle von Himmelstein, right? And only speaks in German. And so the first couple times I didn't bother translating it, right? Well, today, I did watch today in the background, but I looked up at the screen, I saw this in German. I went and I translated it, and when I got the translation result, I almost spit coffee out of my mouth. I know people say that all the time, like an exaggeration. Truly, I laughed for about 4 hours after that, because it was basically saying, Michelle, you're not being oppressive enough, and you're not blocking people enough, and you are a disappointment to the leaders of the Nazi Party. It was almost like, get with the program. And if you read it the right way, and I laughed. I mean, it was just, so there are some real funny people. She has some people who call in or in her chat who I personally don't care for. Other people may find them funny or like them, but that's true anywhere, right? You're going to have people you like, you don't like, no matter what show you watch or whatever. But one of my favorites I look forward to lately has been the German. So let's see. Let's look at chat really quick here. Gwen's not familiar with Kiwi Farms. Okay, that's fine. Yes, Militant Autist and Mike Hunt, you guys, or not you guys, that whole team worked together to pull off that whole Bob call. I really hope there's more. She had no idea who we're talking about. Yeah, and you know what? She had no idea who was on her phone even when the call was happening. Bob Dog, I agree, Grigster deserves another appearance, but if I was Grigster, why would I want to do that for free? Why would I want to go on her stream and drive up her engagement and drive up her views, right? When she really does nothing on her own for the stream. Michelle looks zoned out. You know, Gwen, she always kind of has that look. Believe it or not, Michelle is incredibly intelligent. I don't want to say Rain Man because I want to try to be somewhat politically correct. She's very savant in a lot of ways, and sometimes she'll explain something, and I'm just going to make it up. Let's say she's explaining some kind of circuitry, but when she tells you the story, it's almost like she's reading out of a textbook out of her head. You know, A goes to B, and B goes to B, and B crosses over to B because this is this, blah, 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 blah. So she is intelligent, but I don't think she, at the same time, I don't think she can balance her own checkbook. Let's see. Oh boy, Manic Half Savant. Maybe you want to be a guest on the show, Gwen. I'm just teasing. But in any case, guys, I think that's all I have for today. We've talked about a lot. We played our games. We did some different things. I'm sure next week we'll have some things. I know this week we were dealing with the full moon, so a lot of our lolcows were in an uproar. But I do want to thank you all for coming because I'm out of stuff, and like I said, I am not just going to keep pushing to push. Third generation German American, thanks for taking time out of your Saturday to join us.
No problem. It's here.
Thanks to Gwen, Bob, all of you who were here. I don't want to miss any names, but I truly appreciate you guys coming. I love this engagement. Joe, keep making those videos, man. You do some thought-provoking stuff and some funny bone-provoking stuff. There might be a video or a live stream on Wednesday. It's not going to be lolcow related. I want to try to play with the little concept of, a topic or a theme. I don't know how well it's going to work, but we'll see. So if you see something scheduled for Wednesday, please stop on by. Third generation, don't even worry about trying to fit that in your schedule. That's just going to be one of my little things. Otherwise, if I don't see you Wednesday, I will talk to you guys next Saturday. But until then, God bless and have a great rest of the weekend and week.